What an absolutely insane market we've been dealing with, ladies and gents. We are right now sitting above $104,000. We are consolidating at all-time highs for Bitcoin, and perfectly on cue. If you go through Twitter and you take a look through, the kind of sentiment that we're seeing right now, a lot of people are actually not super happy with where the market is. This one from Maine, picking up a lot of heat on Twitter. Weird how price pumped to new all-time high the night before the inauguration. And then since then, we've just been drip-fed good news and the price is just trading lower. I mean, to me, this is extremely obvious that it's just, we kind of expected the bullish headlines that were coming, and those things were priced into the market, right? Markets are very efficient in that way, and that obviously happens a lot. So I think that's a big part of it. I think a big part of it, a much bigger part, because a lot of people are concerned today about the S&P 500 being up quite nicely, but Bitcoin isn't, right? The S&P 500 is basically at an all-time high, but Bitcoin, has kind of stayed sideways. But I think, if we keep our concerns proportional and realistic, this is not a chart that, really should be raising eyebrows right now in terms of anything negative, I think. If we really break down what's actually happened and we just take a, super calm, sober, collected approach like we always do on this YouTube channel, those of you that are subscribed are going to be very, very familiar with that. Then, all we have to understand is that we first used this $90,000 zone as resistance a little bit, and then we've managed to flip it into support starting November 24, and the last time we used it as support was January 13. And then, since then, we've just flipped our resistance level up here as well, right? Which is the same thing, right? We had resistance here, we turned it into support, and then we had resistance up ahead at 100,000, and we've turned that into support, right? So, just from these super, super basic ways of understanding what is the market doing, before we start bringing emotions into it and like, this should have happened or that should have happened kind of thing, if we just look at what's actually happened, like, I just like to start with the facts, right? Like, I don't mind speculation, and I don't mind saying, if we're reading between the lines, things haven't gone perfectly and stuff like that. I love that. I'm all for it. But I will only do it after I've fully digested the facts, okay? The real facts, the real information. And oftentimes when you do that, I'm knocking my camera a little bit, my bad. Oftentimes when you do that, you'll actually realize that you didn't actually need to speculate too much. The facts will actually tell you a pretty straightforward story. And that's what I'm going to be sticking to for a little bit in this YouTube video as well. If that disappoints you, and if you would prefer that, things are always rambunctious and crazy, then, maybe this channel's not for you. But if you like the calm, sober approach, we're stacking out here in this market. We're doing very, very well. You guys watching have been doing very, very well. Then this is for you. Obviously, those of you that are interested in trading these markets, you've got tons of free cash that you're going to get when you start trading using these links below. These exchanges are literally just going to give you free money after you start depositing and trading on their platform using these links only. Check them out. You get a ton of free cash, and any profits that you can generate with that money are going to be yours to keep. You can withdraw it. It's really, really cool. Only if you're not from a restricted region. Always check your country's local laws and regulations. But back to the market here. Look, easy flip here, nice big support bounce. What do you want, man? You're getting pretty much everything that you could be asking for. The first time that we kind of got up into this general price zone, basically above 104,000, I'm sorry, above 100,000, we managed to spend a little bit of time above this level, right? It lasted about 6 days. So far, we're kind of similar. We're at about 6 days, but we're not really showing signs of dropping below 100,000 right now. So, again, just sticking to the facts, one of the easiest facts we can identify is that, well, we got above 100,000 with some conviction last time, but, we didn't really do anything. We just kind of, slowly climbed higher and then quickly dropped down. On this occasion here, it's sort of similar, but, we fell back down and we were not falling lower, right? Last time, when it happened, we did indeed fall lower. We dropped by another $10,000 from, 100 basically to 90, right? So, that was a fairly sizable drop, but this time it didn't happen, right? And then we came down again, and it again didn't happen, right? Again, we got a bounce twice in a row off the same level that failed us before. So, you know, I mean, again, just sticking to those facts, this is a pretty good chart, right? Again, after that, we've been consolidating, right? Last time, there was no consolidation, right? Last time, we just kind of hit the top and then instantly came back down, you know, like an inverse V, right? And we really don't, you know, these V corrections, they're a big deal. You know, you get a V-shaped correction, that shit, you know, that tells you that you're probably going far, you know, in whatever direction that you pulled off that V-shape. Like, V-shaped corrections, I don't know, man. Like, they happen a lot. Sometimes, you know, you can kind of just fade them. But oftentimes, man, you're looking at pretty nice moves on these kind of, you know, because they're sharp moves. They're reactions. A V-shaped correction means that the market is reacting to something, right? And when the market is in a reaction kind of phase, it moves a little bit more aggressively. By the way, we're going to come to other coins. I want to look at Trump with you a little bit later on in this YouTube video. We're going to be looking at Solana, Ethereum against Bitcoin, which I was, again, no surprises, 1000% correct on all this time, telling you that I'm expecting this shit to come back down to this support level. I also told you that our bounces might get progressively smaller, so we might be doing something a little bit like this. I'm going to continue to break that down for you in this YouTube video. We're going to be going through all of it, and we're going to be keeping our emotions out of it because we want to make money, okay? We don't need excitement or sadness or anything in between. We just want money, okay? That's why we're here. So, you know, if we really keep it grounded and focused like that, we're going to do very, very well. Like I said, those of you that are subscribed, you know all about that. The consolidation here, really, really a big deal. You know, and by the way, the reason we can't go to altcoins yet, very simply, because, you know, they depend on Bitcoin. And if we understand Bitcoin, we're going to understand the altcoins even better. So we're not going to jump ahead of ourselves. The video is going to be 15, 20 minutes, whatever the hell it needs to be. And, and good for you. Good for me too, because it's good for us to go through this stuff thoroughly. Good for me as well. Consolidation up here, right? So obviously we didn't have that last time. It's obvious, right? I mean, I can go on. There's probably a few more things I'm missing, but, you know, we are clearly in a better position right now than we were previously. And this rally was, you know, quite extreme, right? I mean, you know, we even set the all-time high before the halving. You know, I mean, this has been a fairly aggressive bull market in more ways than one. People don't really feel that way because, you know, it was kind of, you know, separated with a, you know, between a lot of kind of extended periods of consolidation, and I do know that, you know, a lot of people really don't like that, you know, which is understandable, you know, but I do think that a lot of this move was priced in, right? So I think the fact that we're not kind of moving up right now is not super concerning, and the fact that we're actually holding, you know, resistance turning into support, like, you know, we're flipping levels, you know, that to me is a really, really strong sign. It also tells me that if we lose 100,000, then, you know, we're probably coming back down to 90. And if we come back down to 90, we're probably actually going much lower, perhaps down to 70. So, you know, that's still on the cards. You know, it's very close. It's only, you know, 4% away. So it's a little bit too close to be comfortable. You know, this $100,000 level could definitely still collapse. We've only tested it twice successfully. And, you know, a third attempt would probably not go well. Okay. I don't think that, you know, we have unlimited support over here. I don't think we have very much support at all, quite frankly. You know, and the reason I don't think so is because we haven't gotten above this level with a big margin. You know, if we got up to, you know, 130, 125, and then we went sideways here and we came back down to like 106, you know, and then we went even higher, you know, then I would say that this is probably going to be, you know, a really strong, really, really important zone of support. But right now, we haven't really, you know, had much price development above this level yet, you know, and so it's going to be quite easy to get back below it. So we got to keep that in mind, right? But so far, we're looking good, and all we need to do on the upside is we just need to get back to that high, right? I mean, the resistance is even weaker. You know, if the support is looking fragile, then this resistance is looking like, you know, an extremely thin sheet of paper. You know, it's really not much compared to what we've already defeated. You know, and it's just a consolidation, you know, that we're in right now, right? So, I mean, the current direction is still up. We're still biased to move up. Yes, I know we've had a lot of good news and we haven't really done anything with it, but, you know, there's no shortage of that right now. That's going to keep on coming. You know, and Bitcoin is kind of doing its thing, consolidating right now. So I think it's looking pretty good. You know, and I think also a big rush, you know, for the market is probably going to come after the S&P 500, you know, meaningfully sets a new all-time high. I think it may have set a new all-time high today. It's not extremely clear just looking at this chart right now, but it also doesn't matter. You know, and a big reason that it doesn't matter, you know, is quite simply because we haven't actually moved above that all-time high with a lot of conviction yet, right? And until we do that, you know, we're still, you know, essentially range bound for the S&P 500. And again, I mean, this is something that crypto people will, you know, struggle to understand. But, you know, sometimes the markets just, you know, needs a little bit of time. You know, they just need a little bit of time. and then they move, right? And you get very, very caught up on it, in it when you're analyzing every day, and when you're analyzing on the hour time frame or anything lower than that, 30 minutes, 15, 5 minutes, like you're gonna get very caught up in things that aren't actually there. And that's where the market really starts playing its tricks on you. So you got to be careful about that stuff. But the S&P 500 here, I think that if it does get, a meaningful breakout, it's probably going to drag Bitcoin up with it. The dollar continues to look strong. It has actually pulled back a little bit. It's had a spectacular rally, man, since Trump got elected. It's still looking good. It's pulling back. I don't know. It's the dollar, right? We're not expecting, perfect SR flips, but I mean, to be honest, it's been going pretty well so far. I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna stop looking at the dollar too much for these videos. TRX still looking super, super beautiful. You already know the deal. I still think this thing's going up. Really, really cool stuff. Take a look at that entry, that very, very famous entry that I had all that time ago, and now just absolutely insane how much that price has moved. 10x leverage on that is 2,300% profit. So insane numbers, absolutely beautiful. Taking a look at the altcoin market, I'm going to tease you. Trump's right here. We're not going to look at Trump just yet. Solana, we've got Solana basically flirting still with its previous all-time high from 2021. I've already told you guys. Many people have not told you this because they don't want you to know, or they're too stupid to know themselves. But Solana has not actually broken its all-time high adjusted for inflation. Okay, there was a lot of inflation since November 2021 when this all-time high was set, and adjusted for inflation, we're still below that all-time high in terms of price. And by market cap, there are a lot of Solana tokens were printed. We're actually significantly higher, right? So Solana's like all-time high situation is a little bit awkward right now, but we know that it's a strong coin, and I think that is doing very, very well for it right now. If we zoom in onto a slightly, closer time frame like the hourly, we did have a bit of a kind of ascending triangle that was kind of getting ready to pop here. That might still be in play. It's, maybe not super in play anymore. It's not super clear, but I don't think it matters. I think that, we've got a nice kind of established zone of resistance right here on this hourly time frame. And if we can get above it, there's going to be a nice price explosion for Solana toward $300. I'm sure it can close that gap pretty quickly. Doge still kind of holding on, just moving sideways. We'll see how this goes. It's at a good level of support. Anytime it's at about 33 cents, it doesn't seem to drop much lower than about 30 cents. So that's interesting. And it's the same for Trump, just 100 times larger in terms of price, because every time Trump drops down to about $30, that's kind of the end. I don't really understand what is going on with the manipulation behind this coin yet. But I don't think it matters either, because as long as there is manipulation, you can kind of deal with that and make your money off the market anyway. But very nice, resistance to support flip right here. It's been tested multiple times. This level is $33. I don't know if it's going to come down to this level, but if it does, that looks like kind of the only obvious buy to me. I guess if you wanted to really, really be, like a perma bull on Trump, you could probably justify something like that. I don't really know, like around 26, but I honestly, I don't even know if we're going down that low. That's number one. And then number two, I don't really think that we're gonna go lower than this. I don't know. I mean, maybe the coin would die, but we are talking about Trump's own token. This motherfucker. My brain is just like not really fully wrapped around this shit yet. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought I would be well positioned to understand this stuff. Like, I'm 23. Like, us fucking Gen Zs are like, pretty decent at digesting crazy shit. We've encountered this all of our lives, but I don't know, man. Like, this one's just like really weird for me. But at the same time, there's a lot of money to be made here. I know that a lot of you guys have made money off Trump token. And with that in mind, I mean, and by the way, Bybit actually has its own Web3 portal on the Bybit app on iOS. You can download it, and it's really, really cool because you can just buy and sell shit coins, Web3, meme coins, Trump, whatever, just directly on Bybit. It's not even on Bybit. You retain custody of your coins, which is perfect. It's just Bybit gives you a user interface for it. Those of you that are on Phantom or Jupiter or Soulflare, any of these apps, they're just a user interface for you to interact with your Solana, right? And with your Solana based coins, or whatever, Uniswap, they're all the same. And now Bybit is offering that as basically an add-on to their platform. It's still yours. It's just going to be with a Bybit UI on it, which is great because they make great user interfaces. So check it out again if you're interested. I don't actually fully know the regulations on this one, but if you're in a free country, then you probably have significant restrictions on your freedom to access them. But I don't know. Go ahead and check it. And yeah, that's going to be... and by the way, those of you interested in moving to Dubai on that very same note, feel free to reach out to me on either of my socials. Or you can even reach out to me directly on Telegram with this link here. And I can get you set up in Dubai. We've done it for quite a few people, some very high-profile people who you definitely know the name of. I've set them up in Dubai, so I'm going to be doing that for any of you guys that are interested as well. You can just feel free to reach out and we'll get you set up with that. But yeah, Trump token here looking pretty sweet. I think that if it does fall down to $33, that's going to be an interesting buy level. You know, and then I don't know about selling. I mean, you know, you probably would be interested in holding this one to, you know, $100 or something. I'm not saying that it can hit $100. Let's just take a quick look. Everyone's talking about, you know, $100 billion hard-coded into Trump token, but that would basically put Trump token at the size of Binance coin. Can I see that happening? I mean, you know, I can't say never because we're in crypto, right? I mean, Doge itself is worth $50 billion as a market. Should Trump token be worth more than that? Honestly, maybe. Honestly, I don't know. You know, the other thing that's worth noting is that Trump can't advertise it, right? Trump is president. So I don't know exactly how that's going to go. But to be honest, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I think that a buy at this level, you know, with a sell, I mean, this looks like resistance, right? At like 42. You know, that's an easy 27% profit. And, you know, we are talking about quite a large market, right? I mean, this is still several billions of dollars in terms of market size. I don't know if it's here on coin market cap yet or not. Doesn't look like I can find it just by eyeballing it, but I will go ahead and type it into the search bar because I don't know if it's even been added on yet. Yeah, of course it has. 7.7 billion, rank 25. How did I not find it then? Rank 25 is like right here. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's Pepe is smaller than it, you know, like you would obviously trade Pepe, right? Like it wouldn't be, you know, a scary idea to trade Pepe. You know, Aave, you know, what a significant coin. Everybody knows Aave, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Uniswap, you know, slightly larger than Trump. BitGet, like out of all of them, fucking BitGet. You know, like obviously I think Trump, you know, Trump token, his own token, you know, is going to have some space to move higher. And so for me, you know, these buy levels are especially interesting because, you know, they just look like the opportunity to do that. So I think that's interesting there. Now, Ethereum, if we switch up over here, you know, is looking okay. It's not really doing anything. It's still kind of range bound, and it's really been very, very range bound for quite some time. It's just suffocated. And I think that against Bitcoin, you know, it tells us a very, very clear story, which is that Ethereum, just like the rest of the crypto market, is not performing well compared to Bitcoin. There are isolated circumstances, and they almost always happen exclusively on the Solana blockchain. You know, there are other coins and there are other exceptions, and you're not smart for pointing them out. You know, but for the most part, most cryptos have suffered a lot against Bitcoin, and Ethereum really representing that for us very clearly. This bounce only went up to, you know, quite a bad level of resistance. I mean, you know, this is not a level to be happy at. Like, you know, you really want to be seeing Ethereum get above kind of 0.5 BTC per token. But it couldn't do it. And that's what I was expecting. That's what I was saying on video many, many times. I said that we're going to come back down here and we might get another bounce, but I expect that these bounces are going to get progressively smaller until eventually you kind of just collapse, right? And, you know, I'm very, very confident in saying stuff like that because that's what we've already been seeing, right? If you kind of rewind this chart a little bit and you look at what this market has been doing, it is just literally, you know, you progressively get to lower highs and then eventually you just fucking, you know, consolidate at the low. You know, previously you get a big bounce, later on you can't even get a bounce, and then you collapse below your support, you backtest that shit as resistance, and then you die. And that's happened so many times for Ethereum in so many different ways, and it's still happening right now. So does it pain me? Yes. Do I care? No. You know, the markets don't care about me. I'm not going to care about it, you know, in any fucking unreasonable way that's not going to serve me. The only thing that I see right here is an opportunity to buy Ethereum every time it gets into this box, and if it falls below this box, probably into this box as well to pick up some Ethereum. Now, there are some ideas floating around which I actually think are very valid, which are basically that, you know, buying Ethereum doesn't actually make sense because when it moves, it might actually be a top indicator, which is basically another way of saying that Ethereum is probably going to move at the very end of the market. It's probably going to move very badly. It's just not really worth looking at in this cycle. I disagree. I completely disagree. I think that there's a lot of truth to it. I think there's a lot of very, very sensible reasoning there. And I actually am not fully confident that I'm right about this on this occasion. But I still feel more right than wrong. And I do think that there are going to be really nice rallies for Ethereum. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened to my setup there. But I do think there are going to be really nice rallies for Ethereum. You know, and I think that, you know, the reason that it's interesting is because it's safe. You know, it's because it's been around for a long time. It's been around for many, many years. It's, you know, it's still in an uptrend. Everything's still looking good. And you know, as a safe bet, that's basically, you know, potentially going to be making more money than Bitcoin. I mean, especially at these lows, right? I mean, you know, if I'm hearing sentiment at these levels that Ethereum's not even worth looking at, like, I don't know, to me, that kind of just makes me feel a little bit more bullish. You know, it's the same kind of patterns that I've seen a million times. So I like it. I still like it, and I still think it could do well. I don't own any yet. You know, I haven't actually bought any. Maybe, you know, very small amounts, but, you know, no real holdings. And I don't know. I think I'm going to get better prices. I've been saying that since we were up here. I mean, imagine if I was buying up here, I would have lost fucking half of my Bitcoin. You know, I can't do that. That's not acceptable to me. So, you know, I'm okay to wait a little bit. I'm even okay to miss the train. Okay, because, you know, it is indeed, you know, not working out right now. So I think that's going to be important to look at. Trump coin, I think I'm actually more interested in than most other things right now. And then Bitcoin's dominance, if we look at Bitcoin's dominance, it has climbed up a little bit, hasn't managed to get back up to those highs. It's probably, I think it's still going to get there every time, you know, Bitcoin goes up. You know, it brings its Bitcoin dominance up with it. I still think that we're headed up. XRP right here took another little leg. I think Trump's election, you know, kind of did something with that, and, you know, a couple other factors at play, but good stuff there. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You know what to do. If you have, smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Check out your beautiful bonuses for a ton of free cash. Any profits you generate with that money, they are going to be yours to withdraw. All you've got to do is start trading after you sign up on these links, and then you're good to go. And if you are from a restricted region, of course, you won't be able to access them. You'll be banned, and your laws will tell you not to. So just be careful of that. Oh, by the way, yeah, Bybit debit card, well worth checking out. Those of you that are interested in those of you that are interested in the Bybit debit card, you can spend that shit globally. That's really, really cool. So check it out. Hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'll see you all in the next one.